crime fighters. I left you where the points of attack. And these are the 4 points of attack. I'm going to explain how we're going to get there. I'm going to explain the obstacles that we're having getting there. But I told you we were going to bring this down, and we're a lot closer, and we're making them nervous. I've got text messages from them. I'm going to read them to you. You tell me if they don't sound nervous to you. All right. So let's go talk about the plans of attacks and where we were. You saw me on the last video try to bring this evidence of a past attorney who suggested, remember, just to remind you a couple things, these people can stop your life in a heartbeat. Again, I won't move an info until they are in the air, referring to his kids. And yes, they are that bad, where I have to do this. I mean, he's referring to them stopping their heart in a beat. The Bedford didn't want to see that because Gakavis runs the Bedford FBI, and he's one of the boys. Remember Walker? They're best friends. Now, I'll bring you back to Darla Sedgwick. She was the key witness in the trial that you saw with Judge McHugh. By the way, Judge of the Year. It's today, actually, he gets his award. I have 2 tickets. No kidding. Darla Sedgwick didn't show up. She'd be a key witness in the court then, as far as the corruption. This is what she texted me. Last Thursday, I am afraid, and I'm being physically, psychologically, and financially tortured. I am scared to death. Who does that sound like? Now that's 2 lawyers who are scared to death. My family doesn't even talk to me. My phone, etc., is diverted and controlled. Remember him, how he's saying, don't talk, I can't talk on the phone? Who's listening to both of them? Why are these 2 past attorneys scared to death? Because they're threatening them. They're calling them up and saying, don't say anything. So you know what? I'm taking these text messages, and I'm going into the Boston office, FBI. And trust me, I even have another department in the FBI that I'm going to give this information to. Now, this information said I had a spy. You know what? I did. He was right. You know who the spy was? My standing attorney, Amy Miller. Okay? Her job was to balk us to go to the courts. Her last job was to blow up a deposition. Remember I said one of the avenues is through the courts? Well, we asked her just before the deposition, because I knew she was a spy. I just didn't know why this deposition was so important, because nothing that they did is by accident. I didn't know that yet. So I keep following through. Turned out Miller, the night before, I gave her an email suggesting that I wanted to know everything she was discussing with opposing counsel. That morning, in front of 2 witnesses, I'll enclose their affidavits. I approached her just before the deposition and said, do you have that information, I asked. No. I go, when are you going to have it? No answer. Let's do the deposition first. She was going to blow the deposition up. We're going to have a deposition with a gentleman named Dean Kenny. Turns out I didn't know we couldn't have that depo. You know why? Dean Kenny was the accountant that knew we had DRA and IRS settlement. We couldn't talk to him. So they were going to blow him up. Miller then went to the court and said he fired another attorney. And this judge, federal judge, threw out the business complaint. And I'm only on it. The whole thing was a plan. Miller was in there to blow this up, so we couldn't give it to the judge. Now the judge has got it where we can prove that Miller, according to this, was the spy. And when she didn't turn around and said it would incriminate telling us what the opposing counsel. That doesn't sound like a spy to you? So this was their intent to blow this up. Now I'm throwing her onto the FBI complaint. So we're working on that still. Now the judge knows what they did. We're going to further giving her a second attorney afraid of their lives. Now we've got two. What are they afraid of? And they have rights to be afraid. The IRS package, that's why Miller had to kill this depot. It would have proved that they knew right along. Walker, this guy Kenny was controlled by Walker. See? They leveraged the IRS piece, the DRA piece that they created. This is the proof that they did it. Now why is this important? We take this information to the IRS, TIFTA, Tim McDowell. They should go to jail. Right. Then we take it right back to Walker. You want to know how we take senators out? U.S. attorneys? Go and send them to jail? AGs? Cover-ups, a Ponzi scheme? He knows. He's one of them. This guy Walker. Walker controlled Dean Kennedy. Let's ask them. Now, Walker, when we fired Walker, this is how we split it up. Friedman covered banking. That's what I was going after, New Hampshire Banking Department. Walker was dealing with the tax problems. He leveraged Hyder to close his eyes to all of it and work for him, with leveraging him with his father working. And then Cohen, the accountant. They couldn't have the accountant see it. That's why we wound up with a forgery in his hands, all being controlled by Walker. Why is that important? You see Friedman? He sat on 3 bogus consent orders. You know why? He was protecting FRM, the Ponzi scheme in New Hampshire that would send these people to jail.
Hey, Mike, John Friedman, got your message. Sorry I missed your call. You called on my cell and I was in the office, and so it doesn't ring through. In any event, I don't know about any meeting on Friday. It is not including me. I don't see any reason for delay. I don't know what Nick is thinking in terms of the delay. I certainly think that irrespective of the lawsuit, going to the authorities would be the smart move now. I also wanted to confirm with you, we have a meeting scheduled with MFA in Tewksbury for the 29th at 10:30 in the morning. They are going to be part of our plan of what we say back to the state of New Hampshire Banking Division. I think, notwithstanding the lawsuit and notwithstanding the investigation, we have to make it look like it's business as ordinary, and part of it is to respond to the consent decree proposal. So anyway, I'm going to try you at your office. It's a few minutes after 9 right now, but I did want to get back to you. Unfortunately, I didn't hear the phone ring. The easier number during the day to get me is 617-723-7700, extension 171. Thanks, Mike.
There's your guy, and he works for him. Hyder knows that story too. That's why that deposition they blew up is on the Hyder case. You know what I haven't got a notice yet from? The judge on the Hyder case? We will. None of these judges want to hear it because they know. They know who these people are. So, I'm going to the Massachusetts FBI this week. The courts, they got our notice. I'm telling you, I'm now going to file this lawsuit and this lawsuit and call it a RICO, which what it is, organized crime. The IRS, I'm naming names. She's the one that had it. TIFTA. These are the people, the criminal people of the IRS. If they look at it, She sends them to jail. The media, I've got 400 commercials running every day. And we're pointing them to this Chronicle. We're also having horse racing. I was to be on ESPN Radio. The last time I was on ESPN Radio, sports, it was their highest rating program ever. Look it up. Then they get a phone call from these people who didn't want me to go on. Not because I'm not telling the truth, because I am. They're telling me to shut up. I'm telling you how to bring it all down. Quite literally. These courts are corrupt. McHugh's getting Judge of the Year because they're kicking him out of town because he knows too much. You see her? She's in Oklahoma. You see him trying to get out of here. Now, why are they all running from New Hampshire? Why are they all scared to death? I'm not sure I'm going to be here talking to you much longer. But you can't say you didn't know.